Welcome into another edition of the Old North State Sports Show. Folks, today we are here to dissect the history of the Carolina Panthers wide receiver position and take a look at who they drafted. 24 wide receivers since the organization was formed a little over 30 years ago, and analyze that to see how many guys that were drafted by the Carolina Panthers have had 1,000-yard seasons. It's a very short list. And really the purpose of this is to, one, highlight, do a little bit of research myself, get to know some of the facts and history of the Panthers and how well they've drafted or how well they have not drafted, but then also to really take a look at like the recent draft selections and how those guys have panned out. So without further ado, let's jump right into the episode. Starting out right here, Panthers wide receivers that have had 1,000 yards in a season. It's a very short list, folks. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 wide receivers in the entire history of the Carolina Panthers have had a 1,000-yard season. Of course, no doubt that Steve Smith Sr., the best out of this group, Muhsin Muhammad and DJ Moore also in that mix. Kelvin Benjamin alone in 2014 hit 1,000 yards. Actually, if you go back and look, that was a rookie record for the Carolina Panthers as well. So keep that in the back of your mind for future trivia. Mark Carrier in 95. Robbie Chosen Anderson. We got to talk about that 2020 season because you had Robbie Chosen Anderson and DJ Moore both hitting 1,000 yards, but he did it once. Rocket Ismail, 98. Patrick Jeffers in 1999. Then DJ Moore with 3 in 2019, 2020, 2021. Muhsin Muhammad in 99, 2000, 2004. And Steve Smith Sr., 03, 05, 06, 07, 08, 2011, 2012, and Adam Thielen in 2023. And to be honest, there's probably a good chance that Adam Thielen could have gotten 1,000 yards this season if he had not missed time. But when you look at that list, and we'll go back in just a second and throw it back up here. So you're talking about guys that have been drafted by the Panthers. Kelvin Benjamin Jr., how do I say Jr.? Kelvin Benjamin, DJ Moore, Muhsin Muhammad, and Steve Smith Sr. So only four guys that have been drafted by the Panthers eclipse 1,000 yards. And 1,000 yards, I mean, in today's age with 17 games too, is like, it's kind of a bit skewed. It's almost like 1,000 yards for a running back. I think it's kind of shifted a little bit the way that we think about this. But yeah, let's go back on here. Take a look at every wide receiver drafted. Now, this does include undrafted free agents. We're looking at guys that were drafted. Since 2017, the Panthers have drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers. 5 of them are still in the NFL. Only one of them is on the Carolina Panthers. Draft 7, 5 still in the league. Only 1 is on the team, and of course, that's Xavier Legette. You look at the history, though, it hasn't been good, and we've talked about this. Xavier Legette still here. Rookie season, 49 receptions, 497 yards. Jonathan Mingo in 2 seasons, 60 receptions, 585 yards. Terrace Marshall Jr., man, we just thought that was going to be something else. Only has 808 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. Mingo has yet to score a touchdown. Shi Smith, he was a 6th-round pick. So the expectations on him are a little bit different. He had 400 yards in his career, 2 touchdowns, out of the league right now. Terry Godwin, same thing, a 7th-round selection. Like, I don't have a lot of expectations for those guys, but you do have a lot of expectations for a Jonathan Mingo and a Terrace Marshall Jr. And unfortunately, those guys just didn't work out. And you can't draft a wide receiver in the 2nd round and not have it work out, especially in the last few years. You can't. You talk about putting yourself back. That's why I hear a lot of people say the Panthers should bypass wide receiver, skill positions. You look at running back, tight end. They should really focus on building out the offensive line's pretty set, but pieces of the offense, offensive line, and really the defensive side of the ball, the defensive line. Build up those fronts because we haven't done well. DJ Moore, 7,531 career yards. Curtis Samuel, 3,636. And we talked about Kelvin Benjamin, who unfortunately just, he panned out for a year, but then things fell apart. Brandon LaFell with 5,000, and, the list kind of dwindles down. All that to say that, the Panthers have struggled, and we've talked about that. We'll pull up the 1,000-yard seasons now. So breaking it down a single season, Steve Smith Sr. leads the way with 1,563 yards. That was the 25 campaign. In 2008, he had 1,421. Muhsin Muhammad with 1,405. Steve Smith Sr. again, then Muhsin Muhammad, and DJ Moore. And the list goes through right there. But, when you look at this, it's not great, man. And, it's hard for me personally because I am evaluating and looking at this through the lens of the Carolina Panthers and only the Carolina Panthers. If I had time, if I had resources and the ability to analyze every team, this may be different. This may be the norm, but I just have to go off of what I see. The Carolina Panthers have just done a bad job. And so all this leads me to what should the Panthers do this offseason? I don't know that drafting is going to do it. I don't know that relying on Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker and, the Adam Thielen players that are here are going to do it. I still am a firm believer that the Panthers have to get another 1,000-yard pass catcher. It's a must. And I'm not even throwing tight ends into this mix because I do think Tyler Warren should absolutely also be in play for the Carolina Panthers when we talk about pass catchers and available prospects. But I do think the Panthers, as we contemplate value, who should pick where, I think Burden, Ted McMillan, those guys should also be in play at pick 8. A lot will be decided over these next weeks and month to figure out how does free agency play out. The days following free agency, the weeks leading up to the NFL draft, will have a better picture and I think a better understanding and potentially trades that could go down as well in between then. So with all that said, let me know what you guys think about this. As always, this is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.